Hi again, Panther fans, and welcome to the Georgia State Sports Update. Dave Cohen joined by Georgia State's head football coach Trent Miles. Coach, welcome. Exciting times here as we get ready for season number 6 of Georgia State football. It's been a busy camp as you get ready for the Charlotte 49ers. How's camp gone to this point?
I thought it's gone really well. A lot of competition, some really good execution, and we have a lot more depth. So we're very excited about what our young men are doing. 95% of our team have been together since January. We only had 5 scholarship freshmen and 1 junior college player report for the summer. So times have changed. You get to work with them a lot more now than you did in the past. So camp's been a lot smoother as far as guys having an understanding of what we're asking them to do, and competition's been really good.
How much of an advantage or kind of a smoothness as far as camp's gone by the fact that these guys have been with you for the entire summer and have gotten a chance to know one another and really work with one another all summer, getting ready for the start of fall camp?
Well, it's allowed us to install faster at a greater pace. Times have really changed, from back when I started playing and when I first started coaching all the way up until just last summer when the NCAA came in and said that we can work with them 2 hours a week with film study and then 8 hours a week through weights and on the field. We've never been allowed to be with them as long as we're on the field. There can't be a ball. So we've been able to all of June and all of July. It used to be in the days where you'd go home for summer and they'd give you a workout program and say, hey, come back in shape. Nowadays, they're there. There's 3 semesters to college: fall, spring, and summer. And in the summertime, our kids were all there, 100% attendance all summer long, and we've been able to work with them, and they're way ahead of what they would be the way they did it in the past. So I think it's a great thing the NCAA finally woke up and did. And we don't hit them or anything, but it's gone for a smoother transition for those young guys that just showed up, and for the older guys to be a little bit more ready when we put the pads on in August, and when we did that, we were way ahead of the schedule.
I know one thing that you've talked about, and that was balancing the classes. You mentioned depth just a minute ago. How's that gone to this standpoint as far as balancing out your freshmen, your sophomores, your juniors, your seniors? So you kind of have a balance across all 4 classes.
We're getting there. We're still about a recruiting class away from being exactly where we need to be, but we're so much closer than it was. Anytime you make that jump from FCS to FBS, and you have to go from 63 to 85 on scholarship, but you also have seniors leaving, it's hard to catch up. So we've been able to catch. Our first year, the year before we got here, there were 28 seniors. Our first year, there were 27 seniors, and then last year there were 6. So, now we're getting closer to the balance. We're still about a year away from actually being where we really want to be, but last year we had 68 scholarship players, and this year we have 83. So we're a lot closer.
Senior leadership in some of the right positions?
We're going to find out soon.
Starting right with Nick at quarterback?
Your quarterback always has to be your leader.
Right.
And not just Nick, but Amir Scaife brings leadership qualities. So does Aaron Winchester, the freshman. So we feel really good about those 3 guys. And then we've developed it at other positions. I know that Taylor Evans has done a good job with the offensive line, as has Mike Ivory. I know that Joe Peterson's always been a leader on defense. But Taurus Batiste has stepped up. Alonzo McGee and Bobby Baker, transfers from UAB, have really stepped up. And there's quite a few others, with Robert Davis and Donovan Harden and Keith Rucker. So we feel like we're developing the culture that it takes to win football games.
Well, Georgia State will open up on September the 4th in the Georgia Dome against the Charlotte 49ers. And we had a chance to talk to a few of the Panthers out at practice recently as they get ready for that season opener. We're at the Georgia State football practice facility. The Panthers getting ready for the September 4th season opener against the 49ers of Charlotte. Dave Cohen joined by starting quarterback Nick Arbuckle. And, you guys have been together since early in the summer. And you can really tell as you guys get ready at these practices each and every day, you guys have really hit the ground running. And the chemistry really seems to be pretty good on both sides of the ball.
Yes, I think that chemistry comes from both the time we've spent together and also all the extra work we put in, both during the summer, the winter, and the spring. We've done a tremendous job, all the receivers, of getting in all the work they can, really running themselves dry. And it really shows here on the field as we're able to hit a lot more passes than we did last year. Completion percentage is really high, and we're just getting better every day.
Let's talk a little bit about the chemistry in the offensive line. A few new faces, but the depth is much better than it was last year. You're healthy, and you guys seem to be gelling pretty well together so far.
Yeah, we're definitely all healthy. Guys are ready to work. We've been together since the spring, so we've been working hard together, been in the playbook, so I think it's going to be a big year for us.
And, you know, Shawan, the way the season ended last year was a bit of a struggle. Everything that's been building up during the summer, you guys looking forward to playing Charlotte in the season opener. But all that hard work trying to erase the memory of last year and create something new starting this year and you know, move this team on to some success.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we try not to worry about last year. We've already talked about last year, and that's over. We really have a chip on our shoulder this year just to go out and prove that we're the best defense in the Sun Belt and defensive line. So we just keep that in mind as we're running, as we go through these plays and the mental days, and we've really been just focusing on that.
Joined right now by Joe Peterson as the Panthers get ready for the September 4th opener against Charlotte, and a lot of hard work out here at camp. Been a good camp, been a good solid camp. Everybody seems to be playing together on the same page as you get ready for this opener on the defensive side of the ball.
Right, I mean, it's been great competition between even our younger guys. I mean, they're stepping up and learning the plays, and I mean, it's been great on the defense side of the ball because we got a lot of guys that has played in the system. Like I was saying, we had linemen that were sophomores last year that are now junior. And then we have a lot of JUCO transfers with the UAB transfer, which brings a lot of more depth to the team.
Of course, when you talk about the linebackers, Joe, a lot of the spotlight has been focused on you, the all-time leader in tackles. You got a little bit of help this year with Ringer coming in and Michael Shaw and Alonzo McGee. I mean, we're as solid as linebackers I think we've been in the history of this program.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a great help. I wouldn't want any other guys around me playing in this defense right now. But Michael Shaw, man, with his pass rush ability, with Alonzo with his experience in playing football, and Ringer being another big guy in the middle that helped me take on blocks and free me up a little bit. I mean, it'll be great having him beside me, and he's a smart player.
All right, again, Georgia State going to take on the Charlotte 49ers tomorrow in the Georgia Dome. And again, with Coach Miles and hearing from some of the players, the excitement starts to build. Sense of urgency may not be the right word, but you kind of get closer and closer to the end of game preparation, and all you've got left is getting into the Georgia Dome and playing that game, and the excitement builds.
Well, what I have to do and our staff has to do is we're finally in a situation where we have to calm them down rather than pump them up, and we feel really good about that.
That's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. So we're just trying to keep them focused on what they have to do. You know, you can't get distracted. Worry about all the outside things. You just focus on the positive, focus on what you have to do to execute and win the football game. And that's where we're at right now. We're in our final preparation. You never stop preparing all the way up to the kickoff. And even during the game, you make adjustments and things. So, you know, we're just continuing to pound home, to focus in on your assignments and calm down, and everything's going to be good.
I think the one aspect, Coach, that I'm looking most forward to seeing, and you mentioned our depth is as good as it's been, probably in the 5-6 year history of the program. Solid at wide receiver. You got leaders at quarterback, hopefully better along the offensive and defensive line. Great linebackers, solid at linebacker. But you and I talked so many times last year about our struggle running the ball. And, of course, injury played into that. Coming out of Washington, got good depth at running back right now, knock on wood.
Yes, well, knock on wood. You will see 4 backs: Kyler Neal, Taz Bateman, Kendrick Dorn, and Marcus Caffey. We'd like to keep them healthy. The days of handing a guy the ball 35, maybe 38 times a game are over. We're an up-tempo offense, so we're going to get our guys in and get them reps and keep them fresh, not let them get beat up. And I think we're improved up front. You know, we've got an excellent offensive line coach in Harold Etheridge. He's done a great job. We're hoping for consistency with that group. You know how it's been in the past, where it's always a different starting lineup every weekend. But right now we've got our mainstays, and we'd like to be able to come off and push guys around and run the football. So it's one of our goals to be able to do this season, and we're going to find out a lot tomorrow.
And as I said, solid at wide receiver. We've been solid at wide receiver now for a number of years, but Donovan Harden coming back from injury, Robert Davis, Glenn Smith, Todd Boyd. I mean, I could go on and on, but just you can go down the list about solid receivers we got this year.
Well, I think we've got a lot of depth, and we're young. Donovan and Avery Sweeting are the only, and Nike Height, the transfer from UAB, who's been playing phenomenal. Those are the only seniors. We've got to get Donovan healthy. He's out for this game, but everyone else will pick up the slack and next man in, and we feel like it's a very talented group.
How have the 5 transfers from UAB fit in with what was coming back?
Oh, they fit in well. You know, part of the process for us is making sure that we bring in the right type of person. Right. They've got to have the right fit. They have to have the character, smart, tough, and love the game. So all of those guys fit that mold, and they fit in great with our young men. You would know that they weren't there from day one. So, you know, it says a lot about the character of the young man that you bring in and the type of young men that we have in that locker room.
Well, another position, as I mentioned, that we're solid in linebacker, and we've talked a lot about Joe Peterson. With Michael Shaw and with Caleb Ringer and Alonzo McGee coming in from UAB. I mean, solid group there behind that defensive front.
Yes, Alonzo McGee and Caleb Ringer will play as well as any linebacker in our conference. They're very good football players. Caleb Ringer is a transfer. He was at Michigan and then went to junior college and came to us. And then Alonzo is an excellent football player. And then you add in a couple young men that we redshirted last year that are still young, but Michael Shaw, Nemus Bryant, and a young man that gray shirted by the name of Ed Kearney that will see action. You know, so and then Trey Payne is playing better than he's ever played, and he played last year as a freshman. So, you know, we feel like we've got some depth there, and we think our young men will perform well, and we're going to hold them to that.
All right, again, now as you talk about the Charlotte 49ers, this is a team that's making the jump to FBS and Conference USA, 5-6 each of the last 2 years, and I know you're familiar with their head coach, Brad Lambert.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say I wish condolences to them. They lost their offensive line coach to a heart attack a few weeks ago, Phil Ratcliffe, and he was 44 with little kids. So we hate any brother to go down in the profession, and I wish the Charlotte football family our condolences and you know, the best going forward. But they're a well-coached football team. I've known Brad since our days at University of Oklahoma, and he's an excellent coach. He's a great person, and they've got a fine staff that when you watch these guys on film, they know what they're doing. They've got a great scheme. They've got a quarterback that's returning that can throw the ball coming off a knee surgery, but he can move. He's good sized, and he can run. They've got a running back that rushed for over 1,500 yards last year and a receiver that had over 1,200 yards of rushing. They return a lot of starters, and they have a new defensive coordinator that brings a very aggressive scheme. So you don't know quite what you're going to get the first game from their defense. We're hoping we know, but you never know until you actually get going tomorrow. So, you know, they'll be a well-coached team that will probably mirror each other quite a bit. I mean, there won't be any difference when it comes to talent and size and speed. You know, at this level, we'll all look the same. You know, well, we hope to look the same. You know, we are now. We weren't in the past, but we do now. So, you know, we'll have our hands full. We'll have to go out and execute. We'll have to play great against the run on defense, not give up big plays. We'll have to go out and execute and be sound in special teams. And offensively, you got to score points. So that's pretty simple nowadays. So you've got to go out and hold on to the ball and not turn the ball over and score points.
You know, you look at Charlotte, this is a team that allowed, almost 32 points a game last year. And we allowed, probably more points than we would have liked to last year. But, that's all part of the growing process of moving. And they've gone just as quickly as we have, 2 years in their FBS, after 2 years FCS, and very similar situation to us about really trying to catch up with how quickly they've moved up.
Yes, they've done a really good job of when they started as far as the infrastructure, and all the things in place to get going. And we're catching up in that regard. Our weight room is up now, brand new weight room. We've got the Turner Field proposal. So things are really going forward at Georgia State and really going in a great direction. And we just need to go out and start winning football games.
Think about it, Coach, and I've said this numerous times. We were 1-11 last year, but I felt we were getting better week in and week out, maybe until the Clemson game and then North Texas at the end of the season when the numbers and the depth problems started to catch up. New Mexico State at home by a field goal, 2 tough ones on the road at Louisiana Lafayette and South Alabama. You could see that we were getting better as the season wore on.
Yes, we've got to keep young men in positions to excel when they're on the field. And we have enough depth to do that, to keep guys fresh. So hopefully we're able to go out, and those games that you lost that were close games, you'll find a way to win those games. Because, you know, in the past, to be honest with you, we were just trying to teach these guys how to be competitive. Yeah. And now we're to the point where they understand how to be competitive at this level. Now it's about winning football games. And that's the next step that you take as a program, is winning games. And we expect every game we play to win.
I remember you bringing out the sledgehammer to media day each week, just getting over the hump, continuing to pound away, which we were doing last year. Just couldn't get over the hump after that first game, but came oh so close.
Well, we have a few bigger guys now that can swing that sledgehammer, so we're going to still pound at that rock and continue to do it. And I think people will see a vastly improved football team, not just from our depth, but from our size, our speed, and our better understanding of the schemes and what we're asking them to do.
Finally, before we go to some questions from some of the students on campus, keeping your staff together for the most part, a couple of guys here and there have left, but the core group of your football staff has stayed together, which I think has been, number one, fantastic, but it shows in the development of your program and with these players.
Continuity is in your program with your coaching staff is always a great thing to have. It's great to have on the offensive line. It's great to have at quarterback and in the secondary, but it's great to have as a staff. And we've got a great staff of men that are excellent people, role models, educators, and darn good football coaches. So, you know, to have them around and be with me. Some of them have been with me for 7. I've been a head coach now for 8 years. Mm-hmm. Some of them have been with me for 7 years. So, and most of them have either coached with me in the past or we have a connection. So they know what I expect. I know how they are, and we all have a common goal, and that's to educate these young men to be successful off the field as well as on the field and win football games.
All right, Georgia State and Charlotte coming up tomorrow in the Georgia Dome, and our producers and cameramen have canvassed the campus of Georgia State with questions from our student body for head coach Trent Miles.
Hi, I'm Shamika Gibson, and currently I'm a journalism major here at Georgia State University. And my question for Coach is, how do you feel about the new players we're getting this year, and are you excited about the new team?
All right, Coach, I think that question is about recruiting. Some of the new faces, we've talked about it, guys that are going to come in and make an impact as we get ready for Season 6 here with Georgia State.
Well, I feel our recruiting went extremely well. We brought in 17 young men at the mid-year last January, 6 of them from UAB. 8 junior college players and 3 what we call gray shirts, young men that were high school young men that sat out the fall that joined us in January. So they were all able to go through winter conditioning, spring football, and summer. And then in the summer we brought in 5 high school players to get to our 25 total, because we had to count a couple from last year. So we feel really good about these young men. They'll represent the university the right way off the field as well as on the field, but they have length, they have speed, and they have talent. So I'm very excited about our recruiting efforts. I'm really excited about our football team and the direction that it's going.
All right, thanks for that question. Right now, question number 2.
Hey, Coach, my name is Lucian Lammer. I'm a film student here at Georgia State. So I was wondering, what's the strength of the team this season? Is it offense or defense?
All right, Coach, that question, the offense, the defense, which one, in your opinion, might be stronger?
Well, you got to add in special teams.
Special
also.
teams.
But I think that the strength of our team is our receiving core, the depth that we have there and the playmaking ability that we have, our quarterback situation. I think our linebackers are a strength. I really believe our secondary is going to be a strength. And I truly believe that Will Lutz, our field goal kicker, is one of the best in America. In scrimmages this fall camp, he has made a field goal at 61 yards in a live competition, 59 yards, and 57 yards. So we feel we have strengths on all 3 phases of the game, and we're very excited about seeing them against Charlotte tomorrow.
All right, thanks for that question. Right now, question number 3.
Hi, my name is Miranda Whittington. I'm a senior telecommunications major, and my question for you, Coach, is the Sun Belt a run-or-pass-oriented conference, and what are the Panthers?
All right, Coach, when we get to Sun Belt Conference play, do you look at it as more of a passing-oriented league or a running-oriented league, or a little bit of both?
Well, to answer that one, our conference is a balanced conference, but nowadays you're seeing a lot more throwing the ball with the up-tempo offenses. Almost every offense in our conference is an up-tempo offense. But we also have an option offense in Georgia Southern. They run the triple option, probably throw the ball 4, maybe 5 times a game, and that's it. So, you know, you're seeing a trend in college football to spread the field, to get the ball out quick to playmakers on the outside. It's an up-tempo offense, but at the same time, teams are running the ball depending on what you're doing on defense. So some games you might see a lot of passing. Some games it might be a lot of running. It just depends on what the defenses are doing. But for the most part, everybody's an up-tempo offense that tries to get the ball to their guys on the outside.
All right, Coach, appreciate it. Good questions from the Georgia State students this week. We'll look forward to that next week as well.
Thank you. I thought they were great questions, and I look forward to more. And we really look forward to people getting out tomorrow to see us at 3:30 in the Georgia Dome against Charlotte.
All right, let's get a W. We'll see you back here next week.
Thank you.
Busy time here at Georgia State athletically, not just Georgia State football and the opener in the Dome against Charlotte, but busy time for all the fall sports here on campus. Coming up on Sunday, September the 6th, 1 o'clock, women's soccer hosting Tennessee Tech. That's going to be out at the GSU Soccer Complex at Panthersville. On Tuesday, September the 8th, it's an all-day event, women's golf, participating in the Louisville Invitational. That's at the Atlanta Athletic Club in Johns Creek, Georgia. On Tuesday, September 8th as well, 6 p.m., we've got volleyball in the sports arena, hosting the Owls of Kennesaw State. And Friday, September the 11th and Saturday, September 12th, again, an all-day event, the GSU Invitational at the GSU Sports Arena. And that's what's going on in Georgia State athletics. Again, a busy time at Georgia State athletically. Fall sports, always a fun time here on campus. Right now, though, it's your opportunity to better yourself athletically as we turn it over to Panther Pump and our brand new strength and conditioning coach, Scott Holsopple.
I'm the head strength and conditioning coach for Georgia State University. Alongside me is one of my assistants, Coach Kobe Kramer. First, obviously, before starting any physical activity, even to improve your sport or just to get more healthier or fit, you should already have seen a doctor. Make sure you've gone over every health concern and make sure that you've cleared a physical as well before beginning. Next, before moving into an exact specific exercise, we're going to cover some of the basics. Number one, you have to be disciplined, you have to be consistent, and you have to work hard. Nothing that you're going to be able to achieve that you want to see measurable gains is going to be done without those things. Now that we've gone over the basics, one of the first things you're going to do when you come in any weight room, at least here, is we're going to have no hats, no cell phones, no earrings, no sitting, no yawning. Because what the whole purpose of this area is to create an environment and a culture of hard work and discipline and consistency that we've already discussed. So after you've put those away, you're ready to go, we're going to take you through a warm-up. Now, depending on the amount of time we have is going to dictate a little bit of how much that warm-up is. We're trying to warm the body up to make sure that your muscles are prepared and ready for the workload that we're about to give them. So it could be using agility ladders, it could be using jump ropes. We're going to do something fast-paced right away to stimulate the athlete, even if it's loud music involved as well. Then after that fast-paced movement, we're going to get into more of a specific exercises that relate to the exact thing that we're doing that day. So whether it's upper body, lower body, or total body. So those could be anything from doing those movements themselves at a lower rate, or it can be anything from just doing a simple push-up, a sit-up, and any other exercise to help increase that core temperature as well. Now, heading on to the first exercise, just like in any sport, and you guys all know, your coaches are always on you about the fundamentals. Well, the first thing in fundamental strength conditioning is going to be our technique, and it's also going to be progression. Now, whether you want to get better by reps, so if I did 10 push-ups last time, I got to get 11 this time, or it's by weight. So if I did 10 push-ups last time, I add at least 5 pounds to myself, and I try and get 10 again. Therefore, that's known as double progression, weight or reps. The first exercise I'm going to demonstrate is something that everybody's done. Ever since they've been 5 and 6 years old, you've learned how to do a push-up. Well, even at the college level and the pro level, I've seen nothing but bad push-ups. So today we're going to start off on learning what a perfect push-up looks like. And remember, it's not how many you get, because everybody trains. It's who's training harder and who's doing it better, who's got the better quality of the repetition and holds himself accountable for every rep. Because remember, if you do a bunch of good reps, that turns into a good set, and the sets turn into a good workout. So let's get started on our first exercise. All right, now the first exercise we're going to perform, as I discussed before, is basic and simple. It's going to be a push-up. but it's also not only is it a great upper body pressing exercise, it's great for shoulder stability, it's also great for overall core work because the two main points of contact are your hands and your feet. So your body, your abdominals, and your lower back have to be strong, and they all have to work together because the 2 points of contact are the farthest away. So of just being a chest exercise, it is not. It's a total body exercise. So first, when you walk up, Coach Kramer's going to get in a perfect push-up position. So I usually blow a whistle or I say up. He's up at the very top. You notice his spine is straight, his head is straight as well. His elbows are locked. That's going to be our start and our end position because the bottom is really the midpoint. So he goes down under control. He touches his chin, whole body stays straight. He drives back up under control. That's one repetition. He's going to perform. Now, Coach Kramer, go ahead and just keep going on your own. He's going to perform all repetitions in a row. Now, when does this set end? The set ends, and when this perfect form is no longer perfect. He's trying to do as many as he can while keeping that same perfect technique. That's the accountability and the discipline part. Anybody can cheat the exercise and still have it look like it's going from point A to point B, but it's really not. It's got to be perfect. Coach Kramer's doing a good job here, all the way up, all the way down. Now, keep going. Now, as these keep going, I'm also going to show you how do I make this a little more difficult. Let's say I'm you in your home right now, sitting down. You can jump right out and jump in with us. You can do push-ups. If you have an aunt, an uncle, a brother, sister, they can jump right on top of you and start applying pressure to the top. So I can pull it down. I give him just a little bit of pressure. He goes down under control. He's controlling the exercise. As he controls the exercise, I'm adding resistance and making it a little more difficult. He's driving up. Boom. I'm pushing him down, driving up, resisting right down. And let's go 3 more. 1, down slow, down slow, down slow, down slow. Big drive up. Good, down slow. Why don't you hold it right there, pause, 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 pause. Hold it there as long as you can. Hold it right there. Now have him doing a static hold. Another way to make it more difficult, but he still has tension on his muscles. And drive up. Good. And if he couldn't get it up, I would spot him from the hips, the weakest part between the 2 points, the hands and the feet, and I would assist him up and have him keep his head flat and finish the exercise the tough and hard way. Well, that's it. Thanks. You've learned how to do a perfect push-up today, and I expect anytime I've seen any of you, it should look exactly this way. I want to thanks again for tuning in. I'm Scott Holsopple, head strength and conditioning coach for Georgia State University. This is my assistant, Coach Kobe Kramer. And next time we're going to work on balance, so we'll be heading to the back of the body instead of the front. Thank you.
All right, we want to thank strength and conditioning coach Scott Holsopple for helping to get us in better condition as we look forward to the Panthers opener. We want to thank you for watching. We've got Georgia State football coming up. Their season opener tomorrow in the Georgia Dome against the Charlotte 49ers. And we'll be back right here next week as we preview Game 2 on the schedule, the Aggies of New Mexico State. For the entire crew, I'm Dave Cohen. Thanks for watching the Georgia State Sports Update.